Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 224. I'm Connor Murphy, here with Grace Matthews in the Hammer in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, you two.
Hello, hello.
Hey, 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 hey.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
How's the summer?
Well, today it's a little cloudy. And
We had a little rain. We finally got a little rain today. Yesterday was hot as the desert.
It was, but we had 2 weeks of cool. So there was no pool time for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's cooled off here too, actually.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys might as well write summer off up there.
Pretty much did already. Considering we had no spring either, that was pretty much exactly like winter here on the West Coast anyways.
Well, you could be like Joe Biden and just go into hiding. Have everybody else speak for you. I mean, Jill Biden's his wife's been coming out doing the interviews. I'm like, who are we going to elect?
Yeah.
I mean, who's running for president here? But he made a big choice today. The choice we all predicted.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris will be his running mate.
Surprise, surprise.
And if he wins, she will be president within 2 years. Yeah,
because Uncle Joe's probably got 1 foot in the grave.
He really does seem like he does. And of course, as much as I don't want him to be president, I don't want him to die, of course, but...
True.
When you have Anderson Cooper and others talking about his mental health and his, dementia,
right,
it's bad because the last thing they want is Trump to be elected again.
Well, do you think they put him in that place because they're pulling the strings?
Exactly.
Huh.
We're talking about a puppet presidency, aren't we?
Yepper. Sounds like it to me.
I just want to know how many times the Republicans are going to play that clip where Kamala Harris calls him a bigot.
Yeah. Remember when she did that?
I can guess.
Before she dropped out?
Yeah, I can guess. None.
Oh, I didn't really mean that. I just said that at the time.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Yeah, and yesterday, I guess 100 black supporters, male black supporters, said that if he didn't pick a black woman, that they would not support him and he would lose the election. I mean, why did they even need to say that?
Yeah.
I mean, he was always going to pick her anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely no surprises for us. We could see this coming a year in advance almost.
We saw this when she dropped out.
Yeah, exactly.
We said that. We said he has agreed to make her his running mate.
Yeah.
She's dropping out because the only 2 people you had in the field was Kamala and Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody was ever really going to go for Amy Cobort. She's a white woman. It's not that kind of year. It really isn't. I mean, they really want this with the Black Lives Matter, and it's not going to be any other way.
Yeah. No, we saw this coming.
Yeah, we did. So it is Kamala, and it's basically her running for presidency, and Jill, his wife, is a wing person, and I heard that, Michelle Obama is going to jump in and start, puppeteering. But, his chief of staff will definitely be Susan Rice. And if that doesn't scare anyone, it should. I mean, you got to remember, she was the one that ran around telling the lies.
Yeah.
She was the one that Obama called on when he needed a lie told. But she is tight with Joe. She will be his chief of staff.
Okay.
Yeah. She can lie with the best of them. Rice says she can look into the camera and lie with the best of them and make you think that she believes everything she just said.
Exactly. I will tell you one problem he's got with Kamala is that she is not African American.
Oh.
She is Jamaican. And African Americans call that brown instead of black. And there's a big distinction. She was also one of her parents is a white Canadian.
Oh, no way.
So a Jamaican and a white Canadian. So I don't know if this is going to please some of the African American caucus.
Wow. Okay.
Early on,
Things are getting too far out of hand.
It is. But they claimed that they would not go for a brown person, that it had to be black. So we will watch and see.
Why does it need to matter? They should be the best person no matter what their color is.
Or their race, or their sex, anything.
Yeah.
You know, that it should be the best person. And as a woman, I don't want anything handed to me because I'm a woman.
Well.
Either I'm the best or not.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
I don't deserve any favors because I'm a woman.
I guess the choice was her or Hillary.
Easy choice.
Yeah.
I still think we're going to hear a lot more about Bill and Epstein. You know, we've got Epstein's enabler in custody, wearing paper clothes so that she does not hang herself. But we digress. Really, what we're wanting to do, Connor, is give you and Trudeau Washington State and Oregon.
Please.
Yeah, we don't need them. They don't want cops.
Well,
they don't want law and order. Maybe you guys could make some sense out of them.
I don't know if you've ever been here to Vancouver Island, but we have absolutely everything Washington and Oregon has. So we don't need that kind of pain in the ass. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, well, what else can we do? Can we, cut the little states off and let them float over to China or Japan?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little ridiculous. Is it something in the air? I don't know.
I don't know. I hope it's not contagious.
I certainly hope it's not either.
I hope it's Mount St. Helen maybe blows them up or something, you know? Maybe we can have another volcano and just cover it with...
be careful.
Make it an island. No, that's too mean. That's too mean.
You're like talking about Pompeii, right?
Yeah, that's too mean.
In Rome?
I don't really mean that.
Yeah, I know you don't. But it is getting ridiculous. They're trying to get the federal agents there. The chief of police just quitting in Seattle today. I mean, it's crazy, you know?
I don't get it.
How do you expect to exist without cops? I mean, does anyone want to live in a world where we don't have policemen?
Yeah, see, that's what I don't get. Like, you know, the first time something happens, guess what? They're calling 911 to get the cops out.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, a lot of these people that want the cops gone have security cards with guns.
Well, yeah. Well,
you know, that's another thing. If you call 911, they say, sorry, we're not here anymore because you voted us out. How are they going to like that if you've got a situation, you know?
Well, my guess is they won't even answer it. I mean, what are they going to do? Send in a social worker and the social worker gets killed?
You know what they need to tell them? Take a knee.
Yeah.
Have you tried taking a knee?
Take a knee and talk them out of it, right?
Yeah.
Talk that burglar out of taking your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, too funny.
Or shooting you. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a lost cause. We think California's bad. California's bad, but I tell you what, you're looking at 70 plus days in Portland, Oregon of lawlessness, and pretty much about the same in Seattle. Chicago's had just about the same too. So it's getting ridiculous. People are dying.
Yeah.
Businesses. Look at the businesses.
Yeah, I don't really get this. Get your shit together, Oregon and Washington, please.
Yeah, and why, are there going to be some pro bono attorneys that are going to help these businesses sue that have not been protected?
Oh,
Because
I'd
these guys don't
imagine.
have the money to sue.
Yeah.
They need some lawyers to step up. Because once they
Yeah.
start getting sued over this, because there's a reasonable expectation that if you pay taxes, you have a police force that's going to protect your business and you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
And
the
they
lawsuits
have
are
reached
valid.
that contract. Yeah. So um, let's hope that somebody takes that on and sets a precedence. Okay, speaking of a precedence, Trump signed an executive order. And the reason Trump signed this executive order is because talks for a new stimulus package basically halted last week. So Friday night, he signs an executive order that keeps unemployment in force at the rate of $400 instead of $600, because a lot of people weren't going back to work because they made more not working.
Right.
So that was kind of counterproductive. He also gave businesses a payroll tax, I'm calling it a holiday or a relief, until the end of the year. So that sounded all great. And everybody was going, ooh, I might get another $50, $100 in my paycheck. Wait just a minute. Businesses are afraid that if Trump does not get elected, the Democrats will make them pay it back. So they run the risk of not handing it over to the employees.
Ah.
Not good.
That would be sad.
Not good.
And it wouldn't help. It wouldn't stimulate anything.
Right.
But the good news is, because the Democrats were so mad that he signed an executive order, they came back to the table on the stimulus package. Okay, so they're trying to iron it out. But the good news is, I guess, or the bad news, I don't know how we're going to afford all this. And we're going to have to pay it back. But if you got a stimulus last time, basically the rules are the same.
Right.
Okay, the money's going to be the same. They're splitting hairs over this other $3 trillion.
Yeah, 1.3 trillion versus 3.1 trillion.
Yeah.
They got their numbers mixed up. The Democrats did,
Yeah.
because they want to bail out all the states and the cities that didn't control their budgets, and spend was their motto. And now that they're out of money, they think the Fed should bail them out.
Well, they were out of money before.
Right.
Before COVID, they were. Chicago was running out of money for their pension. I mean, that's been the case for more than a decade. Half of California.
And the reason why they run out of money is because they spend it on other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's just like your piggy bank. If you take money out of your piggy bank, your piggy's going to be not as fat. That's just the way it is. It's supply and demand.
Yeah, and shouldn't these people or these businesses also, and cities, states have a little savings? I mean, what about the rainy day fund?
Yeah, some new businesses are just launched on a shoestring, though. And those businesses are really in trouble.
Oh, they're just not going to make it. They're closing up like crazy. My aunt lives in a small town about 10 miles from here, and a bunch of them have closed down there.
Yeah,
A bunch
exactly.
of businesses. And, that's bad news. The good news is there's some new ones sprouting up, but, how are they going to make it with this new idea that, for example, we don't go in to eat anywhere, or we get something to go every now and then. We're not even doing that much.
No,
We're not even doing takeout. We went down to the food trucks a couple times and got something and ate outside just to say we did something.
Look at New York. Cuomo's begging people, come to New York. I'll buy your dinner. I'll buy your drinks.
Exactly.
All these restaurants can't open unless they have outside seating.
Right.
It's just like everything. Instead of figuring out ways to open. Let's figure out every way in the world not to open.
Well, or make it difficult.
Yeah, make it difficult on these businesses that are family owned, that aren't your chains, that have been in business for, some of them, 100 years in New York. 70 and 80 in New York is commonplace. These are generational type.
It's just what you
businesses.
do. Yeah, you do what the family did.
I can't imagine what they're paying for real estate space too.
Oh yeah, you've got What do they pay in Manhattan?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I have heard that the real estate, as far as the homes, are tanking because people are moving out in droves. And so everybody's upside down in their homes, their tiny apartments, because nobody wants to live there now.
Yeah, and half of them
saw what could happen during the pandemic.
And probably half of them are moving to the homeless camps.
Yeah.
Could be. That's true. But, what about the airlines? They've already been bailed out once. They say that things are so bad they already need bailed out again. This is like 2 months later.
Right.
At what point do we quit bailing out an industry that it might be a decade before it comes back? I mean, there are so many rumors that the minute we get a vaccine, and we're hoping that's in October. I don't know how long it will take us to get people vaccinated at least at a rate where we feel safe. But they say that another one's coming after this.
Oh, lovely.
The pandemic. And at what point do we have to let, for example, the airlines go that are not strong enough to be stable? I mean, if America keeps bailing out every industry, even our citizens, at what point will we be broke?
Yeah,
will
absolutely.
Will we be on the verge of communism simply because we're a broke nation?
Yeah, I agree. There's no easy solution to this. A lot of airlines lease their planes. They don't own them.
Exactly.
So
exactly
they
right.
got to pay the monthly bills like things were normal, and things are far from normal.
Yeah, and we learned a lot. We've learned that Zoom and Skype, maybe we don't need to travel as much.
Right, exactly.
For business.
Well,
and the airlines knew that the minute this happened, that they said it. They said, we are parking planes that will never be used again.
Right.
And they knew that if the country got used to not traveling, especially for business, that you're talking about an industry that just not the same.
It's not going to be the same now that people, and the price, they had gotten the price so expensive on flights, back in the day when it was halfway affordable. It was okay to fly, if it was $300-400. Now with, $800,000-900,000, if you have to go buy a ticket, a week from now.
Yeah.
People, businesses, gosh, you add that up. If you are a worldwide business where you do have to fly, God, what are those expenses?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how it is in Canada, but when we go out to see our son and we buy the tickets in advance, it's about $1,300 just for the tickets.
Yeah, it's quite expensive here in Canada. I think we're even more expensive. It's and what I've noticed is there's no discounts. It's still the same price that I flew before COVID hit. So, if they were really hurting, why don't you discount your tickets?
No,
yeah, good point. Good point.
Or 2 for 1.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
Like happy hour.
I certainly don't see them encouraging people to fly.
No, they're not. They're not. So. And speaking of COVID, how will sports survive? We just learned that the NCAA, the Big Ten,
The Big Ten and the Pac-10 just voted not to play football.
Football.
Wow.
Now, I see it both
in the
ways.
fall. They said maybe in the spring. The Pac-10 voted not to have any sports till after January 1st.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well,
this is interesting because, football is a difficult sport in that if you get a team that is exposed to COVID and they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, you can't really stick a game in there like you can with basketball and make up a game or baseball.
Right.
So, and that teams are going to have to quarantine.
Right. And I think
somebody's going to get sick. These are college kids.
I think there is a baseball team that will not be able to catch up already. So I'm not sure which team that is, but
one of the ones in Florida was having a lot of trouble. I just don't think it's possible.
Right. Well, baseball is carrying on without any fans, which is kind of creepy. I was watching a game the other day, and they had put cutouts of people, like life-size cutouts, in the seats.
Yeah, that was creepy. Yeah.
You see that? Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought it was quite creepy.
Yeah, NHL's going on without fans. So what they did, because it wiped off the last part of the regular season with the quarantine, they played a little tournament. All the teams that were on the bubble, basically, of making the playoffs, played off best of 5 series. So that just ended, and the first rounds of playoffs are now started. And there's 3 locations that all the games are taking place in, I believe.
Like bubbles?
Yeah.
They're staying together in pods and bubbles?
Yeah. So pretty much the team is quarantined. They're not even allowed to see their families or anything like that. So I know in Western Canada here, Edmonton is where all the games are being played. So you've got multiple teams there. And the cleaning that goes on between these games, because there's 6 games per day out of the 3 locations.
Wow.
So there's like an hour between games where everything has to be cleaned. And I don't know if you ever watch a hockey game, but those guys spit a lot.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so if you're watching this, what's it doing to the game?
Not much.
Can the players keep the game alive in the same way they would if there were fans?
It's a bit weird, for sure, but maybe they're concentrating more on the game. I don't know. I can't really tell the difference. I just know that as a Canadian, we're in heaven right now because there's 6 games every day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, baseball hasn't had any problem because it's basically a lot of one-on-one. The crowd does come into it, but not as much as you think. And the NBA sure hadn't had any trouble getting their players to play.
There's one team on the baseball, we were just talking about that they're probably not going to be able to catch up on games. Is that the Florida?
Cardinals? Yeah, they're going to. They said that they can catch up and get most of their games if they can start by this weekend. And they said that if not, if they're close enough, if they get in, say everybody's got 50 and they get in 46, it will be based on percentage. That they had played that into the effect that if a team got hit hard with the virus like St. Louis and Miami have, then they would go, if their percentage is good enough to get them into the playoffs, they will get into the playoffs.
Cool. Okay. They thought this out.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Just make it a math problem. Make it fair with math. Okay.
There you go.
Is that really
See,
fair?
children, learn math. You can do a lot. Okay, censorship. We end up talking about this all the time. However, since the internet has been anything, it worsens during presidential election years.
Oh, for sure.
I know that we are getting censored like crazy. And we don't even have to do anything or say anything.
Right.
It's just we are labeled a conservative show.
Exactly.
So we're censored. YouTube and Twitter are getting terrible. You don't even see us in a stream. I can tweet out the show and get nothing.
Right.
I can tweet out something else and get all kinds of activity.
Right.
It is frustrating. Twitter has also this week removed followers from conservative people.
Oh, that's just shady.
Yeah, I mean, one guy had like 5,000 people removed, but a lot of people had 2,000 and 3,000, 4,000 people removed.
Wow. And what they say is just Russian bots.
Yeah, they said all kinds of things.
Blame the Russians.
Yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. The COVID bots. Yeah.
So it's frustrating, and I think that we have to be worried because right now conservatives are writing books. They're having trouble getting publishers. We need a publishing company that is either conservative or at least allows conservative books to be published. It just has to be. I mean, we are moving so far towards socialism. And if you cannot get the media out there, you run that risk.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely
The
ridiculous.
media is running, is influencing votes and elections in ways that they should not do, the mainstream media.
Oh, exactly.
And then we have the social media problems where, they censored they pulled a PAC from Facebook, and they're not going to give it a conservative PAC. They will not get their status back till 3 days after the election.
Oh, wow.
They conveniently gave them a 90-day suspension.
Wow.
Which put it to 3 days after the election.
Unbelievable.
You can't tell me that was any accident.
Yeah, no.
But
they don't even care that it's
start
obvious.
Screaming. Yeah,
How about the Post? Washington Post this morning
said that we need to get rid of Republicans. We don't need Republicans.
don't need a Republican Party.
That's a headline in the Washington Post this morning.
Okay. Holy
if that's not
smoke.
socialism, I don't know what socialism is.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I would never want to get rid of the Democratic Party because you don't know what nut's going to come in to either party.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have checks and balances.
Yeah, you bet.
So, I don't know. And
Crazy.
And you have merger. Dish Chairman, Dish TV, says that a DirecTV merger is inevitable. Now, I don't even know why they're bothering because I think satellite TV is on its way out. I mean, we have Dish, and next time our contract comes up, no way. I mean, we now pretty much can stream whatever we want.
Yeah, around the house here, we usually watch YouTube throughout the day, and right now the only thing we're really watching is sports. And then after sports are over, I pop up Amazon and watch a couple shows. I stream them.
Yeah.
So right now, the only thing I'm really using is sports channels, which sounds kind of pathetic, I know.
Well, the reason why we're not is because we don't have any sports, though, to speak of hardly.
Yeah.
Unless, can't get, if our hometown Cardinals can't even get on the field, Royals doesn't do any good for them to be on the field.
No, it doesn't. Except Patrick Mahomes bought in to the Royals.
He did.
The other day. Our Chiefs quarterback.
Right.
He bought into the baseball Royals.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe that'll help.
Well, maybe it's time for you guys to sit down and appreciate some good old Canadian pastime of hockey.
Yeah.
I love hockey. I mean, I love the Blues, but gosh, kid, we haven't been able to get tickets for
Well,
years.
guess what? My team is playing the Blues the first round. So
Well, awesome.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to Skype on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Skype a little cocktail party.
we were in the bubble, so we played the Minnesota Wild in the tournament, the qualifier tournament. So now we take on the Blues, who's only had a couple games, I believe. So we're hoping they're a bit rusty. So,
Yeah, I bet
but
you
we've
are.
got lots of injuries from playing that. The hockey playoffs get really, really intense. So there tends to be a lot of, adrenaline going, and you'll see the odd fight right at the beginning of the game. So it's entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, I guess we will see how it goes.
Yep,
See if we can keep those hockey players healthy.
I agree with you there.
That's true, and we don't always agree, but life's a journey. And gosh knows, we're all in this COVID thing together. So stay safe out there. Godspeed to our listeners. Godspeed, Connor.
Godspeed, Grace and Hammer, and you guys have a good week. And hopefully
All right.
the weather smartens up for you guys. Take care.
We'll see you soon. Bye now.